free. I told you you could always count on me. Always count on me.
Greetings to my channel viewing audience. It's your man Shane Black, and I'm back. I want to talk to you about the shooting death of Patrick Lyoya. It's in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Body cam footage was just released. I believe it was Thursday, and I watched it, and it's probably playing in the background right now. And I've made so many videos. They took my other channel down back in the day. But if you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And Patrick won the grand prize when he decided to play Let's Fight the Police. You see, in the game of Let's Fight the Police, well, the thing is that I am not dumb enough to play that game. Me personally, mind you. For the simple fact that in this game, you may start out in this fight, but you're in a lot of these cases you're unarmed. The police officer you have chosen to engage with has a baton, a taser, a Glock, or whatever the standard issue is for their department. So you're already starting at a disadvantage. Now, Patrick, in his case, is a larger individual and whatnot, and so he was larger than the officer. As you'll likely see in the video, it almost looked like with the officer on his back, like with a little kid, and you're giving him a horsey back ride. He was that much larger than the police officer. Now, I have already made up my mind as it relates to whether or not charges should be leveled against the police officer who is so far unnamed. You can make up your own mind, but while you're making up your own mind, I want you to think about this. They have argued that, they say Patrick understood English, and others have said, well, it's limited understanding. The man told him, stay in the car. So, okay. That's a situation. If you didn't understand English and you got out of the car, okay, great. You got out of the car. However, then you see that it is a police officer. He has a uniform and a badge. And thus far, I have not heard anyone argue that Patrick was partially blind, completely blind, or anything of that nature. Meaning that once Patrick stepped out of the car, he sees that is a law enforcement officer. Thus, the time for any kind of movement is to cease right there. Then you can't, the fact that he ran from the officer. Like, I just don't know what. That's why I said you can't get into the mind of someone below a certain level of intelligence, a certain level of intellect. Because if you were intelligent yourself, for the most part, it's damn near impossible. You go down that rabbit hole and never come back up again. So he saw was an officer, made a conscious decision to run. Then he got caught. But that still wasn't enough. Then he got tased. So at what point is it that he should have given up? And finally, because you can look at the officer in the video, I mean, he's gassed. He's had it. You see, Patrick's running around with nothing but the clothes on his back to weigh him down. He doesn't even have shoes on. The officer, as I said, baton, taser, gun, the whole utility belt. And I don't know if he was wearing body armor or not. So he's weighted down and he had to chase you. Then he had to fight you. And then you're getting back up off the mat. And yes, the officer could have shot him in the belly or shot him in the armpit or something like that, I guess. But these are split-second decisions that must be made. So You shoot him anywhere else, he's got control, because he'd have to let go of the taser. The officer would have to let go of the taser in order to deploy his firearm. And in that split second, Patrick could have used the taser against the officer, eliminating his ability to utilize his firearm. And at that point, Patrick could take the firearm and end the officer's life. So, ask yourself, ultimately, who is responsible for Patrick Lyoya's death? Is it the officer who was doing his job? He doesn't know what's going on, who you are, and how much of a danger you pose to the community. Is Patrick responsible for his own death because of his decision to run and fight a law enforcement officer? Or was it the fault of the parents of Patrick Lyoya, who, it appears, mind you, I wasn't in their home when he was growing up, but it appears that they did not instruct him in how to behave when you are in a situation with any type of peace officer. And I'm not talking about any kind of specialized training. I've heard tales of, oh, well, why do we have to give our black children and give them special talks about what to do when you talk to the police? No, every parent should talk to their child about how they should interact with the police. I'd say 90% of the time, maybe even 95%, that officer is not racist and he's not going to F with you if you don't F with him. But too many times I've seen black people go down the wrong path. So you tell me, and if you don't think it's the officer's fault, Patrick's fault, or Patrick's parents' fault, then whose fault is it? Because it damn sure wasn't mine. So I told him to get the fuck back in the car, sit down, and and like I said, you riding with the wrong tags, take your fucking punishment. And I'm going to end on this note, because that just brought something to mind. If he'd have sat his ass in the car, hold on. As I was saying, this brought something to mind. This happened more than 25 years ago. See, I was in the same circumstance. I was in college. Money's tight. I was a student and shit, starving motherfucker. And so my tags came up. I had to register my car, but what do you know? I didn't have any money. And there's 2 years, when I actually, yes, I took tags off of other people's cars and slapped that shit on mine and kept rolling down the road. However, one time, because I was a youth, the cars were speeding on the freeway. I thought, hell, let me join the race. Unfortunately, I was in last place, and that's who the police officer caught. Police officer pulled me over, ran the plates, and they said, boy, these tags don't belong on this car. Oh, shit, I was doing some fast talking. I told her I was on my way to the college. I was studying criminal justice too and everything. And somebody else said they paid the tags. My boy, and he paid the tags and whatnot because I was in school and blah, blah, blah. The officer didn't even impound my vehicle. She just took the tags off the car and told me, all right, well, you need to go talk to your friend and get down to the Department of Motor Vehicles and pay for your tags. Here's your fix-it ticket. Have a nice day. And here we are, like I said, 25 some odd years later, and I'm still alive that I could tell you my story. If Patrick behaved like a civilized individual, he might have been alive to tell this story to you, his children, and his grandchildren too. So again, who is really responsible for Patrick's death? I'm out.